Have you ever wondered why a piece of paper can buy you a house while actual gold sometimes can't? Today, we're diving into one of history's most mind-bending financial revolutions that happened over 1,000 years ago in China, and it's going to completely change how you think about money. Welcome back to The Logic of Nations, where we audit the very concept of value to build a legacy of understanding. I'm your host, and today we're exploring Episode 4 of our Genesis of Debt series, The Chinese Secret of Flying Money. Picture this. It's the year 1024 in Song Dynasty, China. Merchants are struggling with a massive problem. They're carrying heavy copper coins across dangerous trade routes, making them perfect targets for bandits. But then, something revolutionary happens that will change human civilization forever. The Chinese government introduces something called Jiao, the world's first official paper currency. But here's where it gets absolutely fascinating. This wasn't just about convenience. This was humanity's first massive psychological experiment in trust. Think about what happened in that moment. For thousands of years, humans believed value had to be intrinsic. Gold was valuable because it was rare and beautiful. Silver could be melted down and shaped. But suddenly, the Chinese were saying, this piece of paper, with nothing but ink and government promises, is worth the same as a chunk of precious metal. The merchants called it flying money because it was so light compared to coins. But the real magic wasn't in its weight. It was in what it represented. This was the birth of abstract value, the moment when human society agreed that trust in authority could create worth out of thin air. Here's what most people miss about this transition. It wasn't just economic innovation, it was a complete rewiring of human psychology. The Chinese people had to fundamentally shift their understanding of what makes something valuable. They had to trust not just in the paper, but in the entire system backing it. But why did it work? 3 reasons. First, the government backed these notes with actual reserves of precious metals. Second, they controlled the supply carefully to maintain scarcity. Third, and most importantly, they had the military and political power to enforce acceptance. This psychological shift from intrinsic to abstract value is still happening today. When you tap your phone to pay for coffee, you're participating in the same trust experiment that started in Song Dynasty, China. Your bank account is just flying money with extra steps. The Chinese secret reveals something profound about human nature. We're willing to believe in shared fictions if they make our lives better. But here's the catch. Once you create money from trust instead of substance, you've also created the possibility of that trust being broken. This transition marked the beginning of our modern relationship with debt, credit, and financial authority. The Song Dynasty didn't just invent paper money, they invented the psychological foundation for every economic crisis and boom that would follow. Understanding this shift is crucial because we're living through another transition right now. Cryptocurrencies, digital payments, and central bank digital currencies are all asking us to make the same leap of faith that Chinese merchants made 1,000 years ago. The logic of nations is built on these moments when entire populations agree to believe in new forms of value. But every time we make this leap, we're also choosing what kind of society we want to live in. What do you think happens when that trust breaks down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this changed how you think about money, hit that like button and subscribe for more episodes from our Genesis of Debt series. Share this with someone who needs to understand the real history of money.